Yeah, I want to make a quick rant on boxing refs. I want to start doing a segment where I do my favorite and least favorite boxing refs. I have a couple of pairs for my favorite and least favorites that I would like to put out there, and this will be my first video. Um, I'm doing famous refs throughout history and right now. Currently, I want to make this video first because this is something that's been bothering me for a couple days now. I saw someone make a video where they were insulting Tony Weeks and the job he did during the Garcia Matisse fight. They're saying that he was letting a lot of illegal blows go by Danny Garcia, but the thing I like about Tony Weeks is he's a good judge on whether the person does it on purpose or if it's just part of what happens throughout a boxing match. He's a good judge. He judges the illegal blows pretty good. Sometimes some of the illegal blows can't be avoided, and he's pretty much a good judge, in my opinion, of when they're when they're intentional or not intentional. I think he does a great job. He doesn't try to get involved too much into the boxing matches like some other boxing refs that they just love to jump in the middle and put their hand in between them and separate them. He does separate the boxers from time to time, but a lot of times he just says stop, and usually the boxers will separate, or he says break or something, and they'll separate. And the thing is, he gives them time to get out of the clinches on their own. I mean, there's been times where he does jump in kind of early, but usually he lets them get out of the clinch by themselves, and they usually boxers, if given the chance, usually get out of the clinch by themselves without trying to sucker punch each other. Um, he gives them enough time, and there's some refs out there that like to jump in a little bit too much. I think, in my opinion, they like to be in front of the camera and they like to get exposure or something. They want to be involved in the boxing match. It makes them feel more important, I think. Tony Weeks more or less stands out of the boxing match and lets the boxers do what they need to do, and only gets involved when he has to. And for that reason, he is one of my favorite boxing refs. Now let's get to one of my least favorite boxing refs, and heading at the top of the charts would have to be Joe Cortez. I know he's a Hall of Fame boxing ref, and either he's in the Hall of Fame, they're going to put him in the Hall of Fame, or he was nominated. I don't know. He's one of my least favorite because, well, he seems to be biased towards one fighter or the other in many matches. I don't know if the boxers rub him the wrong way, or before the fight in the dressing rooms when he's trying to explain to them the rule, what he likes and what he doesn't like. Because all refs like something and they don't like something, and they change their mind throughout the years. Like example, Steve Smallger used to let the boxing matches go, until someone got beaten half to death, or I don't know, something happened. But now he'll stop the fight earlier now. Joe Cortez, he's more of a, I don't know. Sometimes he doesn't pay attention. In, like, example, Ortiz versus Mayweather. I'm not trying to give Ortiz any examples. He deserved what he got. But what the hell was Cortez doing looking outside of the ring? You know what I mean? He should have been paying attention to what's going on in the ring instead of talking to one of the guys outside of the ring. He reminds me of the old school wrestling refs. Maybe I haven't watched wrestling since I was a little kid, but when I was a little kid, the refs in the pro wrestling matches, they used to always just magically be looking the other way when one of the wrestlers will go get a chair, jump out of the ring, get a chair, jump in and hit the guy in the head with the chair and then throw it out. And then all of a sudden, then the ref looks the other way. The guy gets knocked out or whatever, and then the guy counts him out. 1, 2, 3, and it's over. He just happens to be looking the other way. I mean, come on, you can't tell me that Joe Cortez doesn't remind you of a pro wrestling ref. The wrestling refs always looking the other way when the other guy does an illegal move, and then all of a sudden they turn around when the guy's already knocked out on the floor and counts him out. 1, 2, 3, and then the bad guy wins, right? Come on, man. I'm definitely not saying Floyd's the bad guy in that fight, but what I'm trying to say is he does this all the time. Because when I saw that fight, the Floyd versus Ortiz, I said that's what he did in this other fight. I don't remember. I can't remember what fight it was, but I remember in a fight that I had seen like a couple of months before this or a year before that. I had seen it where someone was giving them, the other boxer, the elbow, and he just happened to be looking the other way when the guy was giving him the elbow. And then so the guy got the elbow. He got pissed off because he got hit with the elbow, and he decided to try to do something back in return. I think it was a low blow, and then right when he did the low blow. Then Cortez just happened to see the low blow, but he didn't see the elbow, and he took a point away from the guy. You know, I'm like, what the hell, man? I mean, if this doesn't have WWF or whatever, what are these pro wrestling? I forget what, WWE or whatever. If it doesn't have that written all over it, I don't know what does, man. They're paying him all this money to ref the boxing matches, and he's not even paying attention to the boxing matches half the time. That, or he's like Sergeant Schultz from Hogan's Heroes. I don't know if you ever seen Sergeant Schultz from Hogan Heroes, where he knows there's something going around, but he's like, I see nothing. I see nothing. Nothing. You know what I mean? He knows there's something going on in the background, but he's gonna pretend he doesn't see it, you know. He's Joe Schultz Cortez, man. I don't know, man. And then he's always biased in favor of one fighter or the other. I'm not gonna make any accusations or anything like that. I don't want to get sued. I don't have no money to give him anyway. But another example of him being biased would be Maidana versus Khan. Maidana was on the verge of stopping Khan, man, not finishing Khan off, and Cortez just kept pulling Maidana off. He started subtracting points from Maidana. I know Maidana was doing he was fighting dirty, but at the same time, man, I mean, it gets ridiculous, man. 1 point, okay, 2 points. I mean, damn, man. I mean, come on, man. Without those 2 points taken away, it was a close fight, you know, and you can start taking away points during a close fight, especially when one guy has the other one hurt, and he just starts pulling Maidana off of Khan over and over every time. And some of the times they weren't even in a clinch, and they weren't even that close together. You know, it was Maidana was just in front of Khan throwing punches, and then Cortez would just pull Maidana off. Man, he's probably one of the worst refs we have, and then there's a lot of people that like him, man, you know, and they're like, oh no, George Cortez is the best, he's the best, yeah. People will argue and fight in favor of him, and I'm like, man, I don't know, man. I don't think he belongs in the boxing ring. In my opinion, I don't feel he belongs in the boxing ring, but you know, my opinion means nothing. But at the same time, this is just a rant, and that's how I feel.